Good morning. Welcome to 모닝스페셜. 여러분 안녕하세요. 8월 29일 목요일 최수진의 모닝스페셜입니다. One of the most important elements in a successful movie is the music, and some soundtracks even become more famous than the movie itself. But have you ever thought what music would play in the background if your life was made into a movie? Well, having an orchestra doesn't sound bad, don't you think? 청취자 여러분, 세계 최고의 오케스트라 하면 어디가 떠오르시는지요? 그 세계 유명 오케스트라의 연주를 감상할 수 있는 교향악 축제가요, 대구에서 열린다고 합니다. 2019 월드 오케스트라 시리즈 축제는 10월 11일부터 12월 9일까지 60일 동안 대구 전역에서 펼쳐진다고 하는데요. 올해는 빈 필하모닉 오케스트라를 비롯해서 8개국에서 20개의 단체가 참가한다고 합니다. 정태일 조직위원장은 이런 얘기를 했어요. 아시아를 대표하는 교향악 축제 월드 오케스트라 시리즈가 대구를 음악으로 가득 채울 것입니다. Orchestral music. It's probably one of the greatest forms of music in history. So tell me, what song or piece would you like to hear in your movie, the movie of your life? Well, with that in mind, let me give you today's quiz question. An orchestra has a person directing the music from a podium. This person is called 1번, the conductor, 2번, the concealer. 자, 청취자 여러분의 많은 참여 기다리고 있습니다. 정답 보내주신 분들 중에 추첨을 통해서 총 5분께 비타민 C 세트 보내드리겠습니다. 또 여러분의 소식과 소감, 방송 중 궁금한 질문 있으시면 보내주세요. 짧은 문자 50원, 긴 문자 100원에 샵 1045고요. 무료 반디 게시판이나 카카오톡 플러스 이용도 가능합니다. Also, tell us what your favorite instrument is out of all the instruments in the world. With that in mind, let's kick off today's show with today's global headlines. 세계 각국 언론사들의 어떤 헤드라인이 올라왔는지 살펴보는 시간입니다. Touch Global Headlines.
U.S. Assistant Secretary of Defense Randall Shriver has urged South Korea to renew its military intelligence sharing pact with Japan.
랜들 슈라이버 미 국방부 차관보가요, 한일 군사 정보 보호 협정 종료 결정과 관련하여 한국 정부의 연장을 거듭 요청했습니다.
Clashes between anti-government fighters and regime forces have killed more than 60 people on both sides in northwestern Syria.
시리아 정보군의 저항 거점을 빼앗긴 반군의 반격으로 양측에서 60명 이상 전사했습니다.
Gunmen from an IS-affiliated jihadist group have killed 11 local construction workers in northeast Nigeria.
나이지리아에서 이슬람 극단주의 무장단체가 공사 현장을 공격해 근로자 11명이 목숨을 잃었습니다.
At least 25 people were killed in an arson attack on a bar in the southeastern Mexican port of Coatzacoalcos.
멕시코의 한 주점에서 방화로 추정되는 화재가 발생해 최소 25명이 숨졌습니다.
China has virtually stopped issuing group travel permits to Taiwan.
중국 정부가 대만 개인 여행을 금지한 데 이어 단체 관광도 사실상 중단했습니다. And for the headlines and more, I'm joined by Walter. Good morning, Sam.
Good morning to you, and as always, a very hearty good morning to all of our listeners and any viewers out there. And again, another special thought today for our friends down in Jeju. 4 or 5 consecutive days of rain.
Yeah, lots of rain down there. Please be safe, stay dry. And of course, thank you for tuning into the show if you're tuning in from the southern regions today. 최소윤 님이요. 수진쌤, 월터쌤, good morning입니다. 라고 보내주셨고요. 안기영 님도 오늘 날씨 시원하네요. 전수경 님은 good morning, 월터 선생님, 그리고 최수진 선생님 하셨습니다. Good morning, everyone. Well, it's a Thursday, and as you said, some regions across the nation are receiving rain, especially in the southern regions. But talking about southern regions, over in Daegu,
Yes.
they're going to have a very special festival.
I have heard.
Yeah.
I heard in the opening, as a matter of fact.
Right. Are you a fan of classical music?
I enjoy watching those orchestral performances very, very much, especially the really big orchestras, because I like the string instruments. When they really get into those energetic pieces, you see all those bows moving across the strings in unison, and it's really a sight to behold.
선생님이 지금 바이올린을 잡는 듯한 모습 굉장히 귀여우셨습니다. I suppose you didn't play the violin. I'm presuming.
I did not play the violin. What gave it away? Was it my poor
normally, if you hold your hand like this,
I had the microphone in the way, and I've kind of injured my wrist. But anyways, the instrument I did play was the trumpet. I was a trumpet player through elementary and high school. First trumpet, lead trumpet, as a matter of fact.
That is really, really impressive.
Full of surprises.
그렇군요. 외국에서는 대부분 어릴 때 악기 하나씩 정도는 다 배울 수 있는 기회를 학교에서 주잖아요. 선생님은 트럼펫을 하셨군요. 그것도 first trumpet 그러면은 이제 트럼펫 앉아있는 순서대로 사실 맨 앞쪽에 있는 연주자일수록 잘합니다.
That was me.
근데 이제 first trumpet은 제일 잘하는 건데, 대단하신데요. Well, talking about orchestras, we have a special guest coming in this weekend for our morning date. And it's going to be the Associate Concertmaster of the Seoul Philharmonic Orchestra, Wayne
very
Lin.
nice.
So we'll talk more about orchestras and the violin and Mr. Wayne Lin's life this weekend as well. So please look forward to that. Okay, let's go over the headlines.
Headline number 1, U.S. Assistant Secretary of Defense Randall Shriver has urged South Korea to renew its military intelligence sharing pact with Japan.
랜드 슈라이버 미 국방부 차관보가요. 한일 군사 정보 보호 협정 종료 결정과 관련해서 한국 정부의 연장을 거듭 요청했습니다.
Somewhat of an interesting development here, I would say, because of course we have heard very often the expression of regret from Mike Pompeo. However, now we're hearing a little bit of a different tune from the U.S., albeit by a more junior member of the administration there, but certainly still a relatively senior member, having said that. And the comments were given at an event in Washington at a so-called think tank. And the comments were rather direct as well. Sometimes these things are veiled in diplomatic language, but this was rather direct, saying, we do call on the Republic of Korea to recommit to Jisomia and to renew that agreement.
And he's saying that we really need to stick together. And by we, I'm talking about South Korea, Japan, and the United States. These three countries need to stick together when it comes to security issues because of the threats that we get geologically from North Korea, China, and Russia. And by leaving the Jisomia, we're sort of breaking that alliance.
Well, that is very much the case. And as a matter of fact, Mr. Shriver gave comments sort of actually very directly also relating to that. He said that we, again, the same we, emphasize the only winners when Japan and Korea feud are our competitors. And that was a reference to Russia and China, particularly those aircraft entering into or near South Korean airspace as of late.
네, 어제 미국에서 세미나를 통해서 이제 슈라이버 차관보가 이와 같은 내용을 발표했습니다. 그러면서 이제 한미일 3개국이 협력을 해야 북한, 중국, 러시아의 위협에 맞설 수가 있다라고 강조를 하면서 지소미아 를 반드시 유지를 해야 될 것이다라는 얘기를 했었고요. Another thing that he mentioned was that the issue of security and politics should be separated. And I think he directed that specifically towards the dispute we have right now with Japan.
Yeah, that is the case because those two issues have been sort of tied up together on one side at least. At least those are the stated reasons from Japan. And so Korea itself has said similar things, that those things need to be separated. And now we're also hearing that sentiment echoed on the U.S. side to some degree.
네, 특히 중점적으로는 이 3개국의 안보와 정치적인 분쟁은 별도의 문제다. 그러므로 이 사안들은 별도로 다뤄져야 한다라고 강조했습니다. Let's move on to headline number 2.
Clashes between anti-government fighters and regime forces have killed more than 60 people on both sides in northwestern Syria.
시리아 정부군의 저항 거점을 빼앗긴 반군의 반격으로 양측에서 60명 이상 전사했습니다.
Well, the issue there in Syria certainly has been an ongoing one, and most recently there has been a meeting in Moscow of the presidents of Turkey and, of course, of Russia. In that meeting, there was an expression of quote-unquote serious concern over this most recent violence that has been occurring in the Idlib province area.
Now, you mentioned Turkey and Russia there. Russia is siding with the government forces, and Turkey is siding with the opposing forces. And the two clashed, as you said, and in total we saw at least 60 people die from this recent clash.
That is the case. In this most recent bout of fighting in the area, of course, there's been many, many more deaths, including civilian deaths that have occurred throughout the recent days and, of course, through the years since that issue started there back in 2011. This most recent one, getting back to that, was said to be on one side an attack led by an al-Qaeda-linked group, and we had President Putin also making some comments directly to that violence during that meeting in Moscow.
지난 4월부터 이제 양측의 어떤 공격을 우리가 계속 봐왔는데요. 가장 최근 소식으로 지금 말씀드린 대로 반군이 이제 시리아 정부군을 공격하면서 이번에 양측이 합쳐서 이제 60명 정도가 사망했다라는 소식이 나오고 있는데 각각을 보면은요. 정부군 29명 그리고 반군 31명 사망했다는 소식이 외신을 통해서 전해지고 있습니다.
Just very quickly, some of the comments that President Putin did make, he did say that he and the Turkish President Erdogan had agreed on additional joint steps to quote-unquote normalize the situation there in Idlib, but did not provide any details.
But due to these attacks, and the government has been of course, displaying its military power since April, we've seen a total of about 920 civilian deaths so far, just from April up to this point.
Yes, that is indeed the case. From April to today, in the various acts of violence that have occurred there, we've seen 920 civilian casualties killed in that. We've also seen, in that short period of time, some 400,000 people forced to flee their homes.
네, 그 정부군의 공습으로 인해서 4월 말부터 현재까지만 해도요, 민간인 920명 이상이 사망했다고 그렇게 전해지고 있고요. 유엔에 따르면은 지금 한 40만 명 이상이 피난길에 올랐다고도 합니다. Let's go on to our next story.
Headline number 3. Gunmen from an IS-affiliated jihadist group have killed 11 local construction workers in northeast Nigeria.
나이지리아에서 이슬람 극단주의 무장단체가 공사 현장을 공격해 근로자 11명이 목숨을 잃었습니다.
So the workers referenced in that headline were said to be laying fiber optic cables in that area. Those are cables, of course, used for communications. They were locals of the area who had been contracted as casual laborers by the telecom firm who would be using those cables. And the attackers were said to belong to a group known as the Islamic State West Africa Province, or ISWAP, and they were said to have just come in and opened fire on the workers, again, according to the reports we have, killing 11.
ISWAP is actually funded by the Islamic State, and so we can see them pretty much as being in the same faction, if you will. But the civilians that died from this latest attack, they were warned not to be at the site, I understand, but because of the economic situation there, a lot of the people said, despite the warnings, they had to earn some money, and it's actually good income for them.
That is exactly the case. The attackers had warned, according to reports, the laborers to stop working on the work they were doing of laying those cables. But as you alluded to, the workers did in fact ignore those warnings because they were in need of that money, and the work there is said to be quite lucrative compared to other jobs in that region.
네, 이번에 이제 근로자 11명이 숨졌다는 소식을 방금 전해드렸는데요. 사실은 이제 얼마 전에 주의를 해라 그러면서 그쪽 지역에는 가지 말아라. 근로자들에 대한 어떤 경고가 있었다고는 합니다만 지금 경제적인 상황이 너무 어렵고 사실은 어떤 수입 면에서는 괜찮은 일이라고 합니다. 그래서 노동자들이 그런 주의 당부에도 불구하고 여기서 일을 하다가 이렇게 참사를 당했습니다. Now what's also interesting is that ISWAP it actually branched out from Boko Haram, but unlike that particular terrorist group, they in the past did not target civilians. They only targeted military officials and government officials. But this time around, they altered their course.
That is the case indeed. Back in 2006, there was that split with ISWAP just focusing on military targets, as you say. Most commentators in the area have noted that this most recent killing of the construction workers would be the group's first such attack on civilians, but now it's unclear if this is just an isolated case or if it does mark a planned shift in their tactics.
네, 이스와프라고 하는 이슬람 국가 서아프리카 지부가요. 사실상 그동안에는 민간인에 대한 살상에는 반대해온 그런 단체였습니다. 그럼에도 불구하고 이번에 민간인을 이제 공격하는 모습을 보였을 뿐만 아니라 최근에 이런 모습이 계속 잇따르고 있다는 소식입니다. Let's go on to our next headline.
Headline number 4. At least 25 people were killed in an arson attack on a bar in the southeastern Mexican port of Coatzacoalcos.
멕시코의 한 주점에서 방화로 추정되는 화재가 발생해 최소 25명이 숨졌습니다.
So the incident here has been described, of course, as horrendous by the President Lopez Obrador there, and it was said, according to reports, that suspected gangsters had closed the emergency exits to that bar before setting it on fire. So not only does this seem to be a case of arson, of burning down the building, but there did seem to be some intent to cause more damage at the very least, or fatalities at worst, as those emergency exits were closed ahead of time.
Investigation is still ongoing as to the exact reason behind the attack. But as you said, lots of speculation, and people are seeing a similarity with some of the cases we saw earlier on in the 2000s. There were lots of drug-related cases that could be what this is all about.
That could indeed be the case. So this latest attack took place in the state of Veracruz. Now, that state is a major transport point for drugs that do make their way north towards the U.S. border, and has long been involved in many such acts as violence there. Just back in April as well, another 13 people were killed in another attack on a bar in a different city in that same state of Veracruz.
네, 그렇습니다. 이번에 이제 악의적인 공격일 수도 있다라는 내용이 나오고 있다고 해요. 외신에 따르면은 지금 현지 검찰이 그렇게 밝히고 있다고 합니다. 그 이유는 2006년에서 2012년 사이에 마약 전쟁과 관련된 여러 가지 비슷한 이런 사건들이 있었는데 이번에도 상당히 비슷한 모습을 보이고 있다라고 하면서 수사에 착수했다고 합니다. 이번 사망자 중에는 여성 8명, 남성 15명 이렇게 포함되어 있다고 하고요. 그 다음에는 이제 중상자도 10여 명이 병원으로 이송됐다고 합니다. Let's go on to our final headline.
Our final headline this morning is headline number 5. China has virtually stopped issuing group travel permits to Taiwan.
중국 정부가 대만 개인 여행을 금지한 데 이어 단체 관광도 사실상 중단했습니다.
So this move to stop issuing travel permits for group travel comes on the heels of a ban on individual trips to Taiwan that had occurred earlier. The reason we're not calling it a blanket ban is that it's been limited to some specific regions. In this particular case, the group tours will be stopped to 8 particular regions, just referring back to the individual travel that I mentioned a moment ago, that was affecting some 47 cities. So we've seen focusing on cities and regions as well.
Blanket ban이라고 하면은 이제 전면 중단이라는 뜻인데요. 전면 중단은 아닙니다. 지금 이 경우에는 우리가 이제 virtually stopped issuing group travel permits라는 표현을 썼죠. 그러니까 사실상 이렇게 단체 관광을 중단했다라는 이유는 총 8개 지역에 대한 단체 관광을 중단한 것입니다. 하지만 굉장히 인기가 많은 지역들이기 때문에 사실상 단체 관광객들이 이제 대만에 가는 것은 좀 어렵지 않을까 이런 얘기가 나오네요. 베이징, 상하이, 광둥, 저장 등등등 중국의 굉장히 큰 도시들에서는 이제 앞으로 대만에 갈 수 없게 됐다는 내용이죠. And that's obviously going to affect Taiwan financially. Is there a political stance to this?
Well, some people are saying that could be the case. Of course, Taiwan has sometimes been seen as stretching its legs in terms of its own independence. So many people there are saying this move by China could be seen as a way to try to get them in Taiwan to limit their overtures towards independence. And you mentioned it could have an effect financially. Just to give some perspective, in 2015, there were some 4.1 million visitors to Taiwan from China. In 2018, that had dropped down to already 2.6 million visitors. And some experts are predicting that if these latest measures go through, the number of visitors to Taiwan from China could be around just 1 million this year, 1 million fewer than past years.
그러니까 중국과 대만의 관계가 나빠지면서 이렇게 여행업계에도 큰 타격을 입힐 전망인데요. 추산되는 지금 금액이 대만의 우리 돈으로 1조 원 정도의 경제적 손실이 올 수 있다고 합니다. 대만 측에서는 그러면 우리가 중국 관광객을 유입하지 못하면 동남아의 다른 지역 관광객을 좀 더 우리 대만에 오도록 하겠다, 유입하겠다라는 어떤 대응 방침을 밝히기는 했지만 사실상 1인당 관광객의 소비가요, 중국인들이 훨씬 크다고 합니다. 그러니까 대만의 입장에서는 중국인 관광객이 더 많이 오면 좋죠. 그리고 정치적인 이유를 이제 간단하게 살펴보자면은 이제 내년 1월에 대만 선거가 있습니다. 근데 차잉원 총통이 독립을 주장하고 있어요. 그래서 차잉원에 대한 압박 이렇게 볼 수 있을 것 같습니다. Okay, well, those were our headlines for this morning. Let's remind our listeners of the quiz.
Our quiz this morning asks this question. An orchestra has a person directing the music from a podium. This person is the blank. Number 1, conductor. Number 2, concealer.
I've put some of this on my face this morning.
I've put some on my face from time to time.
네, conductor냐, concealer냐, 지휘자를 뜻하는 단어 골라주시면 되겠고요. 짧은 문자 50원, 긴 문자 100원에 샵 1045, 또 무료 반디 게시판이나 카카오톡 플러스 이용도 가능합니다. 옆에서 월터 선생님이 열심히 지휘를 하고 계시네요. 추첨을 통해서 총 5분께 비타민 C 세트 보내드리겠습니다. 끝번호 0914 쓰시는 분이요. 굿모닝, 여기 하남인데요. 잔뜩 흐린 날씨로 하루를 시작합니다 하셨어요. 네, 하늘은 흐려도 마음은 맑았습니다.
That's good. That's looking on the bright side or the clear side.
네, 그리고 ID godlove 90317 쓰시는 분이요. 매번 서울이나 부산에 가야만 했는데 대구에서 이런 축제를 한다는 소식이 너무 반갑네요. 역시 모스를 듣기를 잘했어요. 좋은 정보 감사합니다 하셨어요.
We do often only hear Daegu in reference to the hot weather, so it is nice to have a bit of something else featured there from Daegu.
Absolutely. Well, there's lots going on around the country, and something is going on with Frida. Our next song, our first song of the hour, in fact, is by Frida. I know there's something going on.